Chippewa Lake Park was once a thriving amusement park that operated for 100 years before it closed its gates for good. Now it has sat abandoned for over 40 years. Chippewa Lake Park was first known as Andrews Pleasure Grounds. However, it was eventually changed to be known as Chippewa Lake Park. In 1925, the park added its first modern roller coaster, the Big Dipper, although it was commonly referred to as simply the coaster. At its peak, the park had 3 coasters: the Big Dipper, the Wild Mouse, and the Little Dipper. The park also featured midway staples of the time, such as the Tumble Bug, the Caterpillar, the Whip, as well as lesser-known rides such as the Flying Cages. There was a Kiddieland and also a Ferris Wheel, which was said to be at one time the fastest in Ohio and perhaps the world. However, all good things must come to an end, and after the park's centennial year, the decision was made not to reopen, citing financial difficulties and competition from neighboring parks. However, many of the buildings and rides remained in the park. More than 40 years after the last guest exited Chippewa Lake Park, several determined rides are still standing, the most famous of these being the Tumble Bug and the Ferris Wheel. Although the seats to the Ferris Wheel are long gone, and the Tumble Bug cars sit decaying next to the track, both are remnants of the once vibrant Midway. If you venture down the path into the woods a little further, you will also find the skeletal remains of the Flying Cages and the rusted track to the Little Dipper. It is worth noting that although it is in extremely poor condition, this is one of only 2 Tumble Bugs left in existence. The last functional full-size turtle model is at Kennywood Park, whereas the last functional Tumble Bug model was at Conneaut Lake Park, but was scrapped at the beginning of the 2021 season. This was a Tumble Bug model that existed at Chippewa Lake Park. Medina County has recently purchased the remains of Chippewa Lake Park, with plans to turn it into a community park. The remains of the ride are to be preserved with interpretive panels explaining the park's history.